Hello and welcome back to FYMMO's Tips for Graduate Life. On today's guide, we are going to be talking about budgeting. So first things first, what is your budgeting goal? After you graduate, there are things you need to consider. The pathway you take depends on how you manage your money. If you want to work, what do you need to put your money aside for? And if you want to study, how will you pay for it? If you want to travel, emigrate, or start your own business, your budgeting style is decided by your goals. Spending habits can be defined as repeated and sometimes involuntary routines and practices we have around using money to purchase experiences, services, and things. Look back through your bank statements and take note of your outgoings. It is important to identify consistent outgoings in order to understand spending habits. Through understanding these incomings and outgoings, you can break down spending habits into three categories: needs, wants, and savings. Writing down your spending or keeping an Excel sheet is a great way to track what needs to be spent and what you would like to do with the rest. So the 50, 30 and 20 practice with Bank of Ireland is a very common method used to break down your budgeting goals. So 50% of your income is for needs, which are essentials like your rent, your utilities, any car or transport spendings you need to make, medicines, insurance and loan repayments. 30% of your income is for wants. So these are non-essentials that are easy to spend money on, such as takeaways, coffees, nights out, hobbies, or the latest technology. And then finally, 20% of your income is for your savings. When possible, savings should take priority and should ideally be done at the beginning of the month. And in application, you can see here, and if your after-tax income is 2,400, according to the 50-30-20 rule, you should try to limit your needs to 1,200. You can spend 720 on your wants, and you have 480 left over for saving or repaying debts. And a clearer image of this budgeting rule is here. So you have your wants, your needs, and your savings. So it's a very helpful visual of the process. There are two types of goals, and the first one we have here is short-term goals. Short-term spending goals refer to expenses that you plan to make within the next few months to a year. To set short-term spending goals, it is important to assess your current financial situation and to determine how much money you can allocate toward each goal. Some examples of these goals can be seen here, such as a short trip away, a loan repayment, a rainy day fund, or a nice piece of clothing, equipment, or furniture. Those are short-term goals that you can achieve relatively quickly in terms of your goals. Then we have long-term goals. So we have long-term goals refer to goals that you plan to achieve over a period of several years or even decades. These goals typically require a significant amount of time, effort, and resources to achieve. Some examples of the long-term goals are seen here: a deposit for a living space, a long trip, or moving abroad, starting your own business, or further education. When setting long-term goals, it is important to be realistic and specific about what you want to achieve. And finally, spending goals. When it comes to setting goals, be smart about it. Set realistic timelines for your goals and be relatively loose about them. You may have unexpected expenses or need to take time off work without pay. The SMART method, specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-based method, is a popular and useful example of how to properly and carefully set out your spending goals. Thank you very much and best of luck.